Welcome, everybody, to Sapphire's Soup du Jour, stirring the pot and serving the latest soup each and every week right here on my newest podcast. All right, so I'm a little fired up yesterday. Gave me a whole bunch of heartburn, everybody. I don't know about you, but I'm a big football fan. And yesterday was the championship games. And we've got the Rams, who defeated the Saints in a very controversial game. And then we've also got the Patriots, who beat the Chiefs. And the Chiefs kind of shot themselves in the foot at the end of the game. But hey, what are you going to do? First things first, let's talk about this with the Saints. I know that we got people out there that are crying, even that now the integrity is being questioned. And I really can't blame you. You had two referees sitting right there, looking right at it. And what do? They don't make the call. Now, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, it is what it is. For those of you who do, the Saints got robbed. Last year, they lost the championship game on a fluke play. And this year, they lost it on a blatant miscall. Anyways, so what are your plans for the Super Bowl? For the big Super Bowl Sunday extravaganza, you've got bars that have things going on all over the place. You got house parties with people doing their thing. And I personally don't know what I'm going to do right now. I'm just so flabbergasted about yesterday that I don't know what I'm going to do. So what are your plans for the big Super Bowl Sunday, everybody? We're going to have to find that out. Give me an email at sapphiresoupdujour@gmail.com, or make sure you go on my Facebook. You can also check me out there, and you can hit me up, and we can talk there about all the things that I got posted there, and as well as the stuff that I've got here. So we covered some football. I'm a big football fan. The controversy yesterday was amazing. So we'll just leave it at that. And hopefully we get some emails and I get some people talking to me about things back and forth, and we can generate a little bit of interest in the show. This is our third podcast, and we're going to keep working on getting it better and better as much as we can. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we'll see. Like I said, we're going to cover a lot of different things. One thing being sports. I'm a big sports girl, so there you have it. Now, that being said, I found out that in Canada, of all places, that they had a winter festival in Montreal canceled because of too much snow. Yeah, and that is going to be your useless fact of the day. I'm going to try to come up with a useless fact every day. I think I found it there. You would think that the more snow, the better. Now, I lived up in northern Maine from 1987, December of 87, until September of 91, September of 1990. I lived in northern Maine, in Presque Isle, which is way up north near Caribou, which is the most northeastern city in the United States, Caribou, Maine. And I was in the Air Force up at Loring Air Force Base, Maine. And they had the championship snowmobile races right outside my housing, which was by Presque Isle International Airport. And there were no big jet flying into that one, baby, let me tell you. But so I would watch the snowmobile racing every year. And I don't lie, they would get a lot of snow up there. They get a lot of snow up there. And guess how they get around? Snowmobiles, yeah. They don't mess around, because if they got 3 inches of snow like we got the other day, actually, I'm correct. We had 3 to 5. I don't know about y'all, but here we got about 6, 7 inches. So, which is about perfect. So, we got about 6 or 7 inches of snow, and that's enough to mess you up. Up there, not so much. So anyway, I don't know why I was talking about that, but there you have it. Snow in Canada that messed up. Oh, that's why I was talking about it. How in the world do they cancel that? I mean, good Lord. It's a winter festival in Canada in January. I mean, you would think that but anyway, they had to cancel it. I guess it must have been because the roads were too bad, but take your darn snowmobile, or get those shoes they use. The Eskimos use them up in Alaska. What are they called? Snowshoes? Get them. Now, brave the cold? Don't tell me about it. They do it up in Alaska, in the North Pole. I said pole. All right, now, let me get to the point that's got me also fired up, and that is social media and the posting that we've got going on. All right, everybody, you are free to post whatever you want. And I encourage it. We've got the political climate in this country has now gotten to a point where change is inevitable. And that's what we want. Okay. However, if you really, really want change, we've got to get past the hateful posts. We got to get past the non-correct, the non-factual, the non-proven posts. It may be right, it may not be right. However, if it can't be proven, it only incites more fuel to the fire. So this is a call to reason, not a call to arms, but a call to reason. If you really want to make change. So over the past week on Facebook, I had two people that I'm friends with that are very prominent, one politically very prominent and one very prominent in the community, in the LGBT community especially, and specifically the trans community. And they were posting very, very hateful articles or very hateful posts on Facebook about our current president, which is fine. Nobody well, a lot of people don't like him, and that's fine. But you can't post that because here's the deal. A lot of us, when Trump was making fun of people, when he first started running for office, the biggest thing we said was we don't like him because he makes fun of people and he's rude and he belittles people, and then we can't do that. We cannot do that ourselves. We cannot do that if we don't want him doing it or anybody doing it. So if you want to make a positive difference, my suggestion is, because we all know the memes and all it does is make everybody upset. And if it's not a fact and it gets everybody upset, it's not fair. No different than we would not want somebody making stories about us if they were not factual, and then we have to go face the world. He deserves the criticism he gets. However, we have to now come up with solutions. We know the hatred, we know the despise we have for the person, we know his immorality, we know his dislike of the LGBT community, we know the way he is and the way he was before. That's all good and fine. Now it's time to come up with solutions. I personally am I believe in legal immigration. I do not believe that a wall will solve our problems. Period. I don't see how it's going to solve the problems. They're just going to find other ways around it. Now, remember this. People on Facebook posting those things saying, well, then what if Mexico builds stairs? Remember, if it's a 50-foot wall, it's a long way down. And then I have to put some Goo Goo Dolls in the background there. For the people my age, you'll remember that song. But anyways, so the solution to me is not a wall. The solution to me would be, I would rather hire, this is an uneducated view, I would rather hire more Border Patrol agents right off the top of my head and put them out there to interact with the people and get them processed in the proper way and find out the ones and qualify and disqualify them there and spend the resources on that and getting the people the help they need, as opposed to building a wall to just shutting them out completely. Do I want terrorists in this country? No. I served over in Iraq and Afghanistan, 2 tours. I do not want terrorists in this country at all. However, I do want our country to be what it is, a melting pot. It's not Italians anymore and Germans and Polish people like it was back in the day. Now it's the Muslim people. It's Muslim, I guess, isn't even the proper term. I guess we would say the Middle Eastern, the Asian people used to have a trouble coming over here because of the fact of what happened in Japan back in the day. We should educate ourselves on that. And it's my belief that they had to have a special skill to come over, which is why there's so many engineers and doctors and all that now that are of the Asian descent. And I'll educate myself on that, and we'll come back to another segment on that one too, because I think that I might get some flack for speaking out of my butt, but I'm just giving it off the top here, so doing the best I can. Okay, so back to it. The solution's not the wall. The solution is human interaction. That's my opinion. And I'm not going to turn this into running for president because nobody wants to hear all that kind of stuff. So back to the task at hand. Social media, people. Let's make sure our posts go from the problem to the solution. is Trump going to be the Republican nominee for the next presidential election? If so, focus on the positive of how to beat him. Everybody, you can run his name through the mud all you want. That's not going to solve the problems. We got to solve the problems. So that is the focus. So social media, we have to clean it up. We have to start becoming more proactive to what we want, not to what we don't want, because what you think is what you breed. And I think that's very important in all parts of our life. Any kind of self-improvement, you're going to hear the same thing. What you think and what you speak, you bring into life. What you think and what you speak brings to life in this realm too. So social media is supposed to be a way to interact with your family and friends and family maybe you don't see very much. You've grown apart over the miles or whatever the reason. That's what it's for. Everybody has a right to post what they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be taken credible, I won't say seriously because you can be taken seriously. Some people, and I did see one of my friends posting something on their Facebook, and they were challenged about the credibility of it. And they said simply, it's entertainment. It's something that sparks talk and it's entertainment. And that's fine. They're not trying to provoke change in serious political tone like on the White House and all that. So if that makes any sense. So that's that. So, all right, everybody, let's see. We're at 11 minutes. That's probably going to be about a 10-minute podcast by the time I edit out my buzz and blees and blues and all that. So that's my point of view, everybody. I do not endorse any political candidate at this point in time because, as I said in my first podcast, I want change. And the same old thing, to me, is not the answer. What we have here with our current president is obviously not the answer because there's such a divide. You want a divide in the country. You want people to disagree. But now when it comes to having to choose between loved ones, because family and friends, because they don't have the same point of view that you do, especially the LGBT community that I'm a big part of. And it is very difficult to support somebody who does not care about your well-being. And that's the biggest thing the LGBT community faces right now. They don't feel they have a voice. We don't feel we have a voice. And although I stay out of the political game and I've done the things that I've done, I've seen the things that I've seen, I don't like to take sides because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I just let it go at that. I have an opinion, and I think I voice it very well. And I think it's obvious that I'm pretty neutral, and I have a certain amount of dislike for any politician that reaches the level of national politics because of the fact of the lucrativeness of it. And if that makes sense. And if I was running for president, I would last about 10 minutes, and then you would bury me. Because the first thing that I would do is I would make all people who represent the state and all people that represent within the state, their districts, that everybody makes the same income as the average income of that area. So in other words, if you are a representative of Inkster, Michigan, you do not make $90,000 a year. You make what everybody else makes, and now you really represent us. Because the way it is now, it's too lucrative. And you've got people that have gone to war, that have been injured, that struggle from day to day. And that is not acceptable. Not when you've got the government making the money they're making. Went on a rant. That's all I got to say for now. Thank you for listening, everybody. You're listening to Sapphire's Soup du Jour, stirring a pot and serving up the latest soup each and every week. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for listening.